October 6th. October 6th, okay. That's what you said, October, right.
I couldn't remember the exact date.
Yeah, there we go, beginning of October, that's
So October 6th.
6th.
What time is it? I gotta write it.
Thing, Mike. Yeah, I'm going to call the August 21st meeting to order for the Traffic Safety Bikeways Pedestrian Committee. So the first order is the approval of the July 25 minutes. Do we have any motion to approve as written?
I move we approve the July minutes
Okay.
of the council, of the meeting.
Is
I
there a
second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve and a second. I can't remember, do I do discussion now?
Yes.
Yes. Is there a debate? Anybody has any issues that they wanted to affect the text?
I just will note that I abstained from voting on that since I was not here.
Okay. All right, well then, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? And we have 2 abstentions. Okay, before we move on, I don't think, you're right. So with Trevor, was last meeting your first meeting? Would have been your first meeting, or did you have one before that I missed?
Yeah.
I was here in June.
Okay, so I was not here for that one. Okay, well, since I wasn't able to say then, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so moving on, we will have the appearance of interested citizens. This is time for folks to come and talk about it, something that is not on the agenda at the moment. So right now I have Tammy Kunz.
Tammy Kunz, resident of Kaiser.
Jacqueline, I'm Kaiser.
So I just wanted to say a couple of things. We got a couple of emails about speeding on Manbrin and Cherry, and then the second was on Dearborn near the park. And the one that happened near Claggett Creek Park off of Dearborn, that family almost got hit. A little sports car went right past them. They just got out of the middle of the lane to get the rest of the way out of the road. And it was at 12th. I told them I would share with you. Yep. I told them that I would share that with you guys. I don't know if we can get a sign that says slow put up near the park or before you get to the park so people have that extra visual, or what we can do, but this is not the first time that we've had this problem. So I don't know how we can fix it. I know it doesn't meet any criteria for any flags or anything because that area is too busy. I don't know if we can maybe just put up an orange flag or whatever we can do to try and keep everybody safe. But if they had been 2 seconds before, they'd have both got hit.
What time of day was this?
It was mid-afternoon, about 3:30.
Mike, do you know where the nearest speed sign is in relation to at least this intersection or the park itself?
There's a couple of them, one coming off of Verda as you're headed westbound, and then there'd be one coming off River Road. They're both 25. in that area, and then I think there's some mid-block, and there's some orange
Yeah, there's
placards.
one
Hers
about
is just doing
mid-block.
that, and I'm like, yeah, mid-block we put up at
Yeah.
some
I
point, so
wanna
that's
say
around,
close to,
yeah.
what's the name of that road?
Isn't there the orange
Yeah.
flags too? So we've already done some stuff.
Yes, Brenda?
Tammy, I didn't understand. Is it the car was speeding or the car didn't see the pedestrians in the road?
The car was speeding past them. They actually sped up and tried to go around them, but they could feel the wind from the car
In which direction was the car going? Was it going towards Verda or towards River Road?
towards Verda, off of Dearborn. And it was literally the block right before the park, because they cross there to get on the sidewalk so they can go into the park. And they do that several times a day, only he usually has 3 other kids with him at that time.
I have a question that's kind of a bigger view of it all. We have the speed sign, the 20 for schools. Yet parks are used, I mean, for a much longer time of the day and time of the year. Is there any reason why we don't have 20 miles an hour around parks? Other than there's no law that says you have to. I guess I'm asking Mike, or, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be something to consider, and even, again, back to my paint thing, you could paint jaggedy lines, you could do something that brings attention to the, hey, there's a park here, or maybe even paint on the thing, park. Hopefully they won't park in the road. Yes, Councilor?
Mr. Chair, I have pictures.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So these are what they do on Dearborn.
Mm-hmm, yep.
And I talked with Matt. Thank you. I talked with Matt and I said, Matt, first of all, I didn't realize that Verda was 35 miles all the way to the roundabout. And then it changes to 25.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if I didn't realize that, there's other, I pay attention to stuff like that, and other people maybe not so much. So what I thought is, right where Verda intersects with the roundabout, if you had these on both sides, I think these little orange, I think they're really good attention getters. You immediately look up and say, oh, okay, 25. And I think if it said speed limit change, so speed limit change and then 25, I think those would help if they were right at the mouth of Verda where it intersects with the roundabout. What do you think?
However, we put 4x4s with signs all the way around it that say 20 miles an hour around that. And so she did that a while ago as something that came from this meeting. So every direction coming into that roundabout, there is a visual that says it's 20 around the roundabout.
Does it have these?
No.
It's a yellow.
Is your mic?
Oh, I thought I had it on, sorry. No, it doesn't, but it's.
You know why
it's-
I ask? I don't remember seeing them.
And then coming into it on Shemau, there's a flashing blinking light with a big sign that says 20 miles an hour, so.
On the roundabout. Yeah, but
Before-
they're not
before
gonna
you get to the
equate
roundabout.
the roundabout to continuing along Verda. They're gonna go right back to 35 miles an hour because that's where I just came from. I just came from 35 miles an hour. I slow down to 20 to do the roundabout. I go right back up to 35 miles an hour. I mean, that makes perfect sense to me unless I see big signs like this that say, no, this is a speed limit change.
But it shows the picture and it says 20. I mean, there is a visual there.
But
And then when you get around,
are you
there's a sign
saying
that
that the
says
20 miles
25
an
when
hour
you're headed
is
east
supposed
on
to
Verda.
carry on to Verda?
No.
And then there's a sign
Just-
that says 25.
I know, but
So
I
we've,
mean, look,
And those
it's
are the
just a
signs I was
suggestion.
talking about
I think
putting
these
near
are
the park.
super effective on Dearborn.
well, I mean, I don't know, Officer.
Well, yeah, tell us, Officer Powell.
I think it was several years ago, we got those orange placards on there.
Uh-huh,
90% of the people that we end up citing for that never see it.
okay.
And we've been working at Dearborn, if we do speed enforcement for grants, I tell my guys, work Dearborn.
Yeah, because it's an arterial.
Yeah.
But do you think it would, I mean, the thing that I think it would make it effective, and I don't know, you're the expert, you're the SME, subject matter expert. I think putting them on, on either side, when you leave the roundabout, I don't know. I'm just trying to give Verta some help.
So you're talking about Verda now, not the, okay.
Yeah,
Did you say it was on Verta?
no, she's talking about Dearborn.
Dearborn,
But
by
also
Claggett
Verda.
Creek Park.
That's okay. No, it's still an issue, but
It's still an issue, and I hear about it all the time. Somebody called me at 11 o'clock last night. There's a car going the wrong way on the roundabout. They're in the center by the cows. Really?
What,
I want your number so I can call you when you're bored at night.
No, please don't.
Dearborn, as it was redesigned, did include, some visual, trees, those kind of things. A decent bike lane.
Yeah.
They put up the signage, it is 25 through there. I think it's important that we always look at engineering and see if there's something. But we're talking about behavior here and wrong way driving, DUI, there is no engineering in the world that's going to
No.
stop that or
We can't fix
lessen it.
that.
So it's a behavior issue, and we could have speed bumps all the way up and down Dearborn, and the motorist is still going to speed around the cyclist, still going to do that. Some will. I'm not, shouldn't make it sound like, because I think 99% are going to follow, as Officer Powell says, the rules. But, I think Dearborn is you have your enforcement, we have some engineering there. I think that's enough for now, unless something, new information comes in.
What about an educational campaign to maybe remind folks, you're coming up to a park?
Well, is there any signs we
Or
can
the
put up to say
speed.
park?
Yeah.
On Dearborn?
City park.
Is it-
Yeah.
Okay. Is it
I mean,
obvious?
there's those little green signs that
Yeah.
are really,
Not
there's not a lot of
obvious.
residents that. There's no jazz.
Oh, that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I mean, I still think, having speed limits lower around parks is probably a long-term benefit.
Yeah,
And then
that's our
some
long-term
other,
goal.
maybe something with a little more jazz hands on it, yeah. David?
I just wanted to point out that a section on Verda between Chemawa and Dearborn has come up a couple times, particularly since the apartments were built, and the suggestion made to the city council by citizens that the speed limit there be dropped to 25. It should not be 35. And certainly
Stop
that's
sign,
my
right?
experience too, as
Verda.
a cyclist along there.
Yeah,
Dearborn and Verda.
there is a stop sign there on Dearborn and Verda, but coming out of the roundabout, you may be going 20 into it and through it, but
Well,
it's
even
35,
Chariots
so
goes too
it's long
fast.
enough distance, you can accelerate up to 35 quickly.
Not heading south, you can't.
No, heading north.
No, heading south.
Heading
Well, you gotta put a
towards,
stop sign 2 blocks away.
it's.
In both directions, it
Both
makes no sense.
directions.
It's a short section between a stop sign and a roundabout. You're supposed to go down to like 20 miles an hour at the roundabout. Currently, it's a 35 mile an hour speed limit between there. There is insufficient bike lane on the east side
Yeah.
of the street.
No sign.
And I've had the experience of a chariot bus passing me there. A chariot bus barely fits in the lane. Its mirror is over the bike lane. And there's no reason for people to be going 35 in there.
And that's a section with no sidewalks.
Yeah.
No
Well, there is
sidewalk.
on the west side.
On the west side.
On the west side, but not the
on
east
the
side.
It's brand new because of the parking.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah. Okay, and so we've talked a lot about the second spot, the Mandarin and Cherry. Could you give us any more detail about that one?
I've had several
Membrane, I
calls about the speeding
Membrane.
and people walking. They're parking trucks, people can't see. It basically goes to a one lane from Membrin down to Dearborn where it connects.
Wait,
It's not really my part of the association, but from Membrin, if you, Membrin and Cherry go all the way to Dearborn.
yeah, it
but
turns
it's-
into a different street.
Yeah,
It- It's like Thorman.
Yeah,
So it's that block that I'm getting calls on
is it after the bend in the road or from Cherry?
from Cherry. And Jackie and I almost got hit by a car over there and we were in the crosswalk.
Yeah. Well, I've said before, the crosswalks at that intersection are obnoxiously wide. I don't understand why they're so wide.
They're much better now with the road work that Kaiser's done with all the ADA work over there. They are much better.
They may be better, but still, for someone who's trying to cross at a
Yeah.
very busy
Which-
intersection.
Cross which street?
Well, it's either crossing Cherry or crossing Manbrin. The only time it would be okay is by the bank on the north side.
Yeah,
of-
because they got the
Man.
flashing walk sign
Yeah.
and that works pretty well.
And I've also said this before too, there is a stretch along Manbrin before it turns into Thorman, and even before the curve, where there's no parking allowed. And I haven't understood the purpose of that because,
Complaint driven?
and complaint driven and what was
From the
it?
cul-de-sacs and people pulling out for
Yeah.
vision hazard, and we went
They
out and
can't see
evaluated
if
that,
people are parked there.
and Bill can deem so many feet necessary, and we,
I believe the Southeast Kaiser Neighborhood Association did a complaint about 3 or 4 years ago.
I don't think we missed stretch, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking by the Elks and the RV place, there's no parking allowed there. And you've got Manbin Drive right there, but it's a little ways to the courts.
Yeah, and I've had complaints all the way down to Adam in that vicinity. So I don't know, maybe we can take a better look at it and see what we can do different or how I can help educate them better, or I don't know, I'm just looking for a solution to help families feel a little safer.
Well, I feel like I should have a sign that just every once in a while, I just paint, because again, I think if you're not gonna allow parking there, then painting some type of cross-hatched area which narrows the whole lane down a bit, at least gives people the sense it's a little bit narrower, a little bit slower. And that's, on engineering costs, that's low.
Yeah, I don't have a solution.
Since these problems seem to come up, every week we get, not yours, but somebody comes in and complains about something, it seems like. And a lot of them aren't solvable problems. I don't know what, outside of, if you can catch these people, but there's a bunch of idiots out there driving. And we get complaints about most of the police, I'm sure the police department gets more than we do. But speeding, running red lights, whatever.
And I know a
Distracted
lot
driving.
of that is perception.
But they're all over the place.
Right.
I suspect you can't find a street you haven't had a complaint on over the last 10 years. But I also think we need to do something, but we can't be just complaint driven. Otherwise, because next week somebody's gonna come in and complain about Hazelbrook. And most of you don't even know where it is, so, but, people speed on it. Well, maybe they do.
I've gotten a
Let's
couple
pretend
over
they
there.
do. So you wouldn't, but we can't be driven just by that. And it seemed to me that certain streets, this group, needs to come to grips with picking some streets that we're gonna make a concerted effort to plan something, make some specific recommendations to the city council on Public Works and the police department. Well, we'd like this, some sort of coordinated activity that reduces these problems. At least, let's pick 2, so that we can go back and say, yeah, and we didn't just put up a 25-mile-an-hour sign with a cute orange placard on it. Something other than that, more concerted, maybe resources are limited, so we can't spread the 25-mile-an-hour signs all over the city. Maybe we need to concentrate, and it's the same streets, I was just trying to think, which ones do I hear all the time? The Cherry and Mandarin, we hear about that all the time, either that or when it runs into Thorman.
Bridge Drive.
And I thought, and I'm wrong, but I used to think that the Willamette Valley Scenic Bikeway came down Mandarin, and there is a sign there on the corner of Cherry and Mandarin. This is the Willamette Valley's bike route. And you wouldn't know it if you weren't looking for it. And so we might want to pay a little more attention to that, because that's the one thousands of people a year are following, except now I think they go all the way down to South Kaiser, then kick over to River Road.
No, it's still there. It's still Mandarin.
Yeah, okay, if that's true, but something like that, that's important. Where do we have the most pedestrians? That might be more important than the complaints. I see lots of people at Cherry and Mandarin, especially around the bank and over at the auto parts store, and I don't know where they're going or coming from, pizza parlor, Domino's, whatever. So that one, Verda has been a problem forever. Either the lack of sidewalks, the lack of good bike lanes, the lack of, now we've got this traffic circle, which I like, fine, and I don't actually speed up much because I know I have to stop when I'm heading south, and I can't think of a reason why I'd want to go north out of the traffic circle. For me, I just know where to go. I mean, you could dead end that street as far as I was concerned. But that area right there, Verda, we've had, and then everybody in that neighborhood has signed up complaining about that, so it's a problem. And Dearborn and Verda, Dearborn all the way to the River, Sunset, wherever it goes, the end of it, is an ideal place if you want to bike, it makes sense, but it's horrible because of the traffic. And maybe that it's not a thoroughfare, it's not posted at 35. There's no reason we can't slow everybody down on that road. Anyway,
Well,
it just seems we need to narrow our focus in a kind of a general way, because I don't think we can react to all these complaints.
I agree, we can't play whack-a-mole, but I mean, I guess I'd invite Officer Powell and the rest of KPD to throw out some suggestions one time that we would then put on the list for Public Works, because they're the ones seeing the data more frequently and more current data, I would assume. And also you have the long history of the data to show that this is a problem site.
Well, that's exactly, we can't be strictly complaint driven because a lot of it is perception sometimes. Sometimes it's accurate, but that's the purpose of the traffic data studies. I mean, even if we get a complaint, it may not meet the threshold of the traffic plan, but we can go out and verify whether it is an issue, and then we can put some targeted patrol and enforcement towards that. That seems to be our best solution.
Well, what I'm thinking is, like, so you once you've gotten the long history of a site being a problem, that's the one we decide, okay, that's the one we're gonna, or two that we're gonna present towards the budget committee to try and get some type of fix on this year. So it's not complaint driven directly, but it's historically a problem, and so we can at least attack something.
Yes, there are definite historical streets in Kaiser that have been, and probably always will be speeding issues.
Right.
And there's maybe a handful of streets that have enough traffic and with significant speeds.
Yeah.
You have you have data?
There's data through citations and experience, yes.
And can you pull the data?
It would take some struggles, but you probably, I know right now for our speed grants, we're working typically Dearborn and McLeod. Those are the two top speeds right now.
And how did you pick McLeod?
Some of it's, well, it's experience, it always has been. We get a lot of complaints on McLeod from the neighborhoods. And we'll work it until now we're not getting very many speeds. And then we haven't done that because it kind of solves it for a while. But more recently that the speeds it's not uncommon to get above 40 miles an hour out there right now.
So, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
So I think, if you're gonna bring something to city council's gonna say, just what I'm saying. How do you know? Where's your data? What makes you choose those streets? And I think that you need to work hand in glove with the police department. And I like Dave's idea of, like, if, Officer Powell says, there's 6 streets that are infamous, which one's the worst? And it's driven by data, so that you can bring that information to city council and then come with your plan. So here's what we want to do. We want to get maybe one of those speed indicators, that run by solar. I don't know what they're called. You know what I mean? But they're super effective. People see those big things and go, oh crap, because they're afraid they're going to get a ticket. So maybe we do that. I don't know, but I'm just saying, when you come to city council, you're the Citizens Advisory Committee.
Right.
We expect you citizens to advise us councilors by saying, here's our 6 problem streets identified. Here's how they were identified. They were identified by data. They were identified by citation. They were identified by complaints that were received. We think this is the number 1. We want to target this one. Here's how we want to target it. And then roll out what you want to do. That's going to be so much more effective. And that's what we rely on. You're the SMEs. You're the subject matter experts for traffic safety, because not all of us get into the weeds, except Shaney Starr, who gets into the weeds on everything. But not all of us get into the weeds on some of this stuff. And so when you come to us, if you have that laid out like that, then you're going to get support and you're going to get money, and they're going to say, yep, we're with you on that. But if you come and say, we have a feeling,
Right.
and we get lots of complaints, and it's every meeting, the city council's not going to fund anything on that.
How close to budget time do you think we should be bringing these things?
You should have it prepared, and you should have a budget request in March of next year. So you've got September, October, November, December, January, February, March. You've got 7 months to get your plan together.
And I don't think I'm sorry, I'm just simple. I don't think it's that complicated. I don't think there's, if we started with a list of 10 streets and narrowed it down to 3 with cooperation and working with the police and Public Works, it wouldn't take long if one of us met with the police department, one of us met with Public Works to get that list. And then we just went through a big process of making a list of all the different traffic
Calming?
thank you, calming devices. And we could just pick some. Now, we're not making the decision.
You're making the
We're
recommendation.
making a recommendation to the decision makers. Now, if they can either take it, they can say, yeah, but I really like, you didn't put street paint and I love street paint. And so they could decide to do that in addition to or in place of anything we suggested. So we're not the final decision makers. I think we can come up with a recommendation pretty quick. And that would give Public Works or whoever, when the city council has to cost some of this out, which will be done by probably Public Works. And whoever does budgets.
But
Easily
my
by
point is,
January.
that work needs to be done.
Right.
If you bring a half-baked plan to city council and you say, but we're not sure what the cost is, it's gonna go nowhere.
Well,
Because we're gonna have other budget requests that have been costed out.
Right, but we want to have this to the city council like by December.
Probably.
And then Public Works has a couple, 3 months to do something with it about money. And then it
Probably
would need the
November.
budget committee to be done. So I don't know where to go with this right now.
Well,
I would like to, it's not a motion, it's just,
No.
I'd like us to do that, like,
could
one of
we,
us talk with Officer Powell and one talk with
right, we
Mike.
could have
Who wants to
a
talk
committee member, maybe the same person, that way you're
Who
not
do you
having
want to
to.
talk to?
I'll talk to Powell.
Yeah, it starts,
Okay.
it all starts right
Wait,
there.
over, yeah, I'm
There's
gonna
your,
go.
there's your subject matter
No,
expert.
I'll talk to Mike.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mike doesn't want to talk to me.
Mike doesn't want to talk to me anymore anyway, but that's okay. So, we'll do, now, you guys talk to whoever. So we want to come at the next meeting, I would like, my suggestion would be we come up with a list. I don't know.
No more than 5.
I know more than 5, but narrow, maybe even just 2. 2 would be really nice because even if it's not the best 2, they're probably close. And that would allow everything else to be focused in on it. Then maybe something would get done that's more significant. Because in my mind, I picture things and saying, yeah, there's a bunch of things you could do to Mandarin. That would make it 20 and about as good as you're gonna get, because you're not
Your
gonna be able to go faster than
recommendation
that.
needs to include that.
Yeah.
You need to say, there are X amount of things that can be done. We recommend this, then this, then this.
Right,
Right, we'll then cost each one out.
and then costing them out a
Mike.
little bit.
So this is bypassing the neighborhood management traffic plan. I'm asking, I mean, I'm hearing a lot, so I'm asking, because there's
Well-
procedure that we went through that we voted
Yeah, right.
on, and this is steps,
I
and so
think-
I just want to throw that out
I
there.
think
like-
part of it is the neighborhood traffic management plan only affects certain streets. And this could be a broader look, right?
But the traffic
But
management.
you're asking for data that historically, yeah, the police has some, but you'd want more current. So I'm asking, where are you getting that data to then show, okay, look, there is an issue, whatever that issue may be, then you
Yeah.
can bring that forward. But without that, I don't think just bringing a street because you have an idea to put some squiggly lines on the side
Yep,
is
Well,
going to go very far.
That's right, you're right.
so
We're
yeah,
gonna want, we've got to justify spending taxpayer dollars.
right.
right.
So that's what we have to do. So we're gonna need your help in giving us that justification. And that justification comes with, I've written 47 tickets in the last 2 months on this street. In addition to that, I've received 27 complaints on this street. I mean, those things are meaningful, and we can stand behind that then and say, we need to spend some money on this particular street.
Brenda?
So, building on what Mike just said, and hopefully what we're all talking about, further on in the agenda is to look at possible changes to neighborhood traffic.
Yeah.
Maybe the management program, the neighborhood management program, maybe this is what we should be looking at, because then those 2 streets would get triggered. So maybe we have those in mind while we're looking at this to see which ones would actually, what do we need to change to get this triggered?
My opinion was, just the way things operate, we don't need to, that's not an issue. If somebody goes and complains to the city council about the stop sign at Verda and Chamawa, and the city council decides to put in a traffic circle, they can do whatever, I mean, they can do that, and we can do that. We don't have, traffic management, and the people in the neighborhood want to do it, they can implement it. That doesn't mean somebody else can't implement it. Police department maybe say, go to city council and say, we really need stop signs at this intersection, or whatever. Gates, who knows? They have the right to do that. I mean, that should be part of the process. It doesn't mean we're excluding the neighborhood associations. We might use the data they provided us to
But he
help.
didn't say neighborhood associations. He said the
Traffic,
neighborhood.
excuse me, the traffic management process usually involves, often involves the neighborhood association, right?
Most of the time,
Most.
but Kaiser there
Yeah.
isn't neighborhood associations throughout Kaiser.
No, there's not.
Right.
So I don't think we need to change that process. Anyway,
I'll bet you that comes up though. Mike, that was a good, I mean, so I think you definitely should pay attention to what the process is so that you don't exclude that. I mean, certainly what you're saying and what we're talking about doing and you selecting 2 or 3 streets that you want to target, I think all of that will be well received with appropriate data and coordination from the neighborhood traffic management program.
Anybody up in Mandarin?
So this was step 1. We will send in a neighborhood traffic management plan for next month's meeting.
Okay. The application.
Do you need anything else from me?
We don't, yeah, we've let this go.
You were a little stranded.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
Well, thank you
Thank you.
for bringing that up. I would just want to say one final thing about this. It sounds like while you guys do have complaint-driven, putting out the reader board and all, and camping out on a street to see, there are also, I imagine, other streets that you just know are a problem, and you might not have been there physically, sitting there or had the reader board on that street recently, but you know the problem is there, correct?
Yes, some of them are historical and just because of the nature of the street.
Yeah.
Some of them we found through complaints that we wouldn't have normally thought of.
Right.
And I'll throw out the one that surprised me for a very short street with a true speeding issue is Harmony.
Really?
Yeah.
It is, yeah, because people cut to go
It's actually,
to the I-5.
it's based on the traffic on Lock Haven, whether they take Harmony or not.
Yeah.
And I'll
It's so
use.
true. It's me.
Well, I think we should add this work that, was it you, Hirsch, or David, who's gonna talk to?
I want to give, I mind working on it, but I want to give Officer Pyle some time, and I don't think by next month.
No,
It's
no,
sufficient
but I'm just
time.
thinking, like Brenda was saying.
I know.
Brenda was rightly pointing out, putting it on our list of projects. Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, I understand.
All right, moving on, we have the pilot pedestrian flag program. This is where our thing will pop up, Dawn?
Oh, yes.
There's some thing from the website. You have a thing? Do I do anything?
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
There we go. And we could look straight ahead if we so choose, so we're not. Oh yeah, this is what I sent you. So yours would be one tab over, I think. Or
There we
two.
go. You got it in front now.
Oh, look at that.
Is that the one you wanted?
No, that's what I sent.
Next page.
No, it's the pilot pedestrian flag program.
Oh, that's in your packet. Can we, since
Oh.
it's already up, is it okay if we talk?
Sure, I thought, you did say that there's something for, okay, okay. So, I'll be as brief as possible. So this was, some of you know Strong Towns, so I sent this for all of you to read. And basically, the gist of this was, people know where problems are, and sometimes they get frustrated by government not doing, responding to that, and they may do something, like it says over here, maybe paint a crosswalk, because every crossing is a crosswalk, or every intersection's a crosswalk legally. Or putting a bench at a bus stop, where there is none, or even some other thing. But, government tends to have the concern that they're gonna be sued because someone put a bench there and someone might trip on the bench or slip on the bench or something. And so they take it out. And so the gist of this article is government listening to what people do. And that's even just watching, where you see the worn paths through grass. That's where people are walking maybe that's where we should be looking to have some type of pathway for them to walk, because that's where the public is, the people have said that's where we want to go. So that was the point of this. So I don't know if you all read that, but if you have any comments?
Just on government, I was the state risk management consultant. And yes, people sue for everything. And it costs. And so I can completely empathize. We had a good discussion at council about liability and structures of any kind put up by the public forces the governmental entity not only to have the liability, but the maintenance.
Correct.
And if that's not built into their budget at that point in time, that is a factor.
Yeah.
And people will sue for anything. And especially if that little bench was not built to code.
Right, right.
So, I just wanted to throw that in.
And I get that. I guess the question is, what's the liability of not doing something? Like, especially if the government knows there's a problem, right?
Well, if they know there's a problem and they've addressed it through budget concerns, there is no liability on government. No, through ODOT has done that where everybody knows the bridge is bad, but we don't have the money to do it this year, and they go through the process. You know, the hearing, and hearings and all that, there is no liability.
Interesting. But I would get back to like when I was saying about the pathway. If people are saying something,
Oh,
they
yeah.
want something there, then the government should at least be like, okay, can we budget into the next year?
Exactly.
So, all right, that's all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Counselor, Jerry McGee used to call that footprints in the snow.
Yeah.
It's the exact same situation. People, people are like water. They're going to find the path of least resistance.
Absolutely.
And if I can cut across here, this is where I want to cut across.
Yeah.
And, the trails down in front of the state capitol, they go crisscross. That's exactly what that's from.
I'll bet, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how they determined how to make those. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. People vote even though they don't realize they're voting
That's
for
right.
something.
They vote with their feet.
Yeah. Okay, so now we'll go to our pilot pedestrian flag program.
So you have in your packet the survey responses. There was 3 last month, so there's still the same 3. So we don't have any new responses, but you're welcome to look at that if you want. They're all, it's a QR code that is on so on your bucket is a QR code. So if you're at the place and you want to submit what you think of the flag and any advice you have for us here that are doing the pilot program, you're welcome to submit. So other than that, I can say that I've been tracking when I put new flags in, and we are not losing flags. I don't know why. So we did not lose any flags in the last 4 weeks. I do have to move them, there's 6 on one side and 4 on the other. But
That's not a
I found one on the ground. I had to put it back in the bucket. But yeah, it's going really nicely. Yes.
At National Night Out, we had a table and stuff at Lacey Street. And 3 of the neighbors, the subject came up, and they love it. One lady does it daily, and she said, I think I was one of the first ones to ever use it. And so 3 neighbors, I asked if she had did the survey, and she said no, but I said that I would say that she really appreciates it and uses it almost daily. She walks her dog over there from down 15th over, and so.
So we were gonna have 2 places, but we didn't find another place with the speed limit only being 30 miles an hour or less, that has a crosswalk, that has active people walking across it, like the park does. So we have other crosswalks in town that have no stop signs or, flashing lights. For example, across Windsor Island Road, there's a crosswalk. It's before Lock Haven, but after Shamawa, but it's a 35-mile-an-hour road. If
And-
that one is actually getting used, which is what I don't know, but if the apartment people are actually walking across that street to get to the bus stop, which is why I think they put that there.
It's for the school,
It's just for the school?
and it's
So-
very busy during school time.
So what we're looking for with this pilot program, is what does the city need and where should we put them? If it's deemed that a location is used a lot and flags would be helpful for getting them across the street, that's where we want them at.
The school district during school does have a crossing guard there.
Yeah, so in that case, that wouldn't be the same thing. So we're still looking for where in town is another place people actually walk often that flags would be helpful.
The other problem with Windsor Island, that section, there's heavy, big trucks coming through. They're not speeding, but they're big trucks. Yeah.
I know we haven't gotten many responses, but, is there, or could we add a question that says, where else would you?
There is one in here.
Is there? Okay.
It's number 7.
Oh.
I wondered if you should put it on social. On the website? I don't know what you mean by that.
If you put it on our website, this survey, folks might.
Is the survey also available on the city website?
No, I don't think I placed it there, but I can easily do that.
Okay, thanks.
Because like one lady said, I had 2 kids, 3 dogs. And she was like, yeah, no, I'm not taking a survey.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yep. Any other comments or questions?
So far, so good.
All right, thank you. Okay, so, it's a shame Matt couldn't be here, because I know this is a big, concern to him, the next one too. Review, evaluate, determine any possible changes to the neighborhood traffic management program. Now, at this point, I don't think we're looking to lift up the hood tonight, but certainly suggestions would be appropriate and appreciated. The one I've thought of is, and I mentioned it briefly at the last meeting, was having kind of a tiered response. So maybe if it doesn't meet all the standards of a city's action as it's currently written, but it does tick a box, that maybe the city has some low risk, low input, but some measure that could be a traffic calming measure, and then kind of test it out and see how it works, and then use that as, do we need to go to a more intensive response, or keep it as it is, or maybe there wasn't as big of a problem as we thought it was. Anyone else have, David?
Well, I've been actually pretty impressed with the neighborhood traffic management program in terms of it bringing issues before us using that document. So I think it's been good for surfacing input from the community. I have some feelings similar to what David Dempster had and what the discussion was earlier, that I don't feel that personally, I don't feel there has been identifiable positive change made because of concerns brought forward through that. And I also would agree that one needs to narrow, pick out kind of what seems to be the biggest, most important issue and try to address that. The one place I kind of differ from the earlier discussion was, I would really like to see us working in partnership with Public Works and the police in terms of, instead of a recommendation from the committee, that it's a recommendation, a joint recommendation from advice and city staff. I would like, also feel that there's then a closer connection with potentially city budgeting, so that it is not an add-on after all the city priorities have been there, but that we as a community are able at the end of the year to say, okay, this is something, maybe one thing that we've done to make this community safer and better than it was previously. And Kaiser's growing a lot, and so there are issues that surface on places which were maybe okay before, but I think people sense that. But anyway, and so within the traffic management program itself, I feel very good about how it's working to bring issues forward. I don't think it has been effective in terms of then initiating something, and it may be that it just, but I don't know what the right approach is, but I'd like to see us do it in partnership with Public Works and not kind of a separate thing on top of whatever Public Works is doing. And just looking in that, I don't know, I live on a very busy street, but I don't have any idea what the traffic volume is. And so I don't have any way to respond to some things like 800 cars a day or 1,500 cars a day. I don't know. You know, clearly on my street, there are times of the day that it's very busy, and there are times of the day that there's hardly anybody, you know, come at 2 a.m. You know, it's really quiet. Anyway.
I don't even know if your street would fall under the neighborhood traffic management. It's Lock Haven
Yeah.
by 14, right?
I do take exception to that. It is a residential street.
Yeah.
It is also an arterial. But every structure on that street is pretty much a residence, a school, or a church.
That's true. Well, so that all being said, did you have any tweaks to this? Or do you want to get back to us on that if you think about it?
Right, well, I don't think it's, again, I'd like to work with Public Works and to figure out how we get so that we can say, okay, we are doing something to make the community safer. To me, there's one of the things that you shared outside of this meeting was something that talked about how speed limits were set. And it was quite an eye-opener for me in that this document talks about safety, neighborhood livability. Speed limits aren't set looking at safety or neighborhood livability. According to your article, they're set by what 85% of drivers choose to drive on that street. And what we typically find as people come complaining about speeding on a street is Officer Powell goes and does a speed study, and he finds that, well, the speeds are well within 85%, which is technically how the speed limits are set. So it comes back and there's no, in other words, the posted speed limit wasn't posted looking at safety or the impact on the community or how the community has evolved. It was posted based on the nature of the street and how drivers choose to drive on that street. And so there's a disconnect there if what we are trying to do is to make our community safer. We need to be looking not at are the drivers driving within the speed limit, but is the speed limit appropriate for the nature of the community and the safety within that area? So anyway, there's a, it really, it's premature for me to come through here and say, okay, this is, I don't think we've ever gotten to a point where we the neighborhood traffic management program, if you really are coming to an engineering study or something, talks about having a point system and everything else. Well, that only makes sense if all city similarly related projects are also being scored on a similar point system and things. And I don't think they are. So you can't really use that to prioritize. And again, it comes back to me thinking, okay, we just need to be working in partnership with Public Works and the police and figuring out how we can make this community safer and better.
Okay. Brenda, did you have anything for tonight?
I believe that on the agenda, we're reviewing the neighborhood traffic management program as it is and looking at lowering the triggers. So if we're looking at, I love the concept that when the neighborhood traffic, because program is designed to give it to the city and then they know what to do and they know what the funding and they have all the data they need. The council has all the data they need to put it in the budget to get something done. So I love your idea that when this isn't triggered, we have things that we can, and we've been starting to make a list of things that we can do. I believe David brought us a list a couple months ago of things people can do when this isn't triggered. But I believe our problem is like Verda isn't triggering this.
Right.
So what could we change on here that would make it so Verda did trigger the traffic management plan? Because what we're looking at is suggesting to the city council that they lower some of these triggers so that we can address the needs of the known streets that do have a problem, but this isn't getting triggered.
Well, I think that was one of the big discussions early on, was that there's a subset of streets that are not included in this.
Right.
And so we would have to basically say, this covers every street, or it doesn't, stays as it is, and then we have some parallel program that addresses the arterials and major collectors. Officer Bell?
Kind of in response to David is, speed limits on Oregon. I don't know where your video and all that information was from, but Oregon, the speed limits are set by statute and requirements within residential, within cities, and arterials and collectors can be slightly increased, such as Chemawa and Lock Haven, and maybe a little bit more in Oregon, in rural Oregon, where Highway 97 used to be 55, they've now increased it to 65 because there's almost nobody there, it's long distance between anybody else, but speed limits are not set in Oregon by an 85% of the drivers.
Yes. That video, it was started out, or the article started out as referring to an Ohio situation, but I think it was nationwide in general. A lot of states have used the 85th percentile.
Yeah, I guess I would say in general, but it doesn't apply, because residential, everybody learns, residential street, a true residential street is 25.
Right.
Downtown is 20.
Yeah. Although in here, we refer to the 85th percentile and send the check.
In where?
So I think that could
In
be.
the- in the-
In the traffic management.
No,
We
it
use
got lowered.
differently.
Okay.
It got lowered to 50.
Did it get, okay, so
Yeah.
this is the old one.
The 85th that they're talking about is if 85% of the drivers are driving at this speed, maybe we need to adapt and increase the speed. Ours, in our 85th percentile, is if they're 85%, if too many of them are going too fast, it's determined a problem, and we need to do something to keep it down.
Okay. But you're saying we dropped it?
Well, and that was a big thing that was discussed was the
Yeah.
85th percentile.
Yeah, yeah.
And many times, and it was no, and because I got the final right here that was adopted, but it was lowered for local streets and neighborhood routes. It was lowered to 50th percentile, so now that's what we're going, has,
I thought so, but then I saw it in here and I was like, oh.
no.
Oh, but in one of the scoring, the thing they saw said,
It's the
points.
difference between a collector and the residential's. The residential's like 50,
okay.
that's my concern.
Yeah, if you saw it, that must, excuse me, that was table 2, must have been under the collectors and not the local neighborhood streets, which is what this plan was developed to
Right.
take care of, was neighborhoods precisely, so the forethought to
And
it
then we
was-
did talk too about when you have, like Lock Haven, you're kind of like, it's at the interface of two neighborhoods, and then, so, does it become invisible, or does it become something that then gets caught up in here. I'll collect. Are you done?
Oh, well, I mean, if we want to look at changing the plan and writing a new one, that's great. I don't want to. I think we've only used this for a year. I think we should lower a trigger or two, and I would like to ask Officer Powell and Public Works, which of these ones can we lower by some reasonable number that would trigger VERDA? And then look and see what happens after that. And then we might actually be addressing streets that we know are a problem that weren't getting triggered. Because this is a really good plan the way it is. It's just the triggers are too high. And I don't think that was us that set that. I think they were given to us.
And I would say, yeah, I don't think we were looking at a wholesale revision. I think it was more of like, okay, we had the system, we had the revised thing. Let's revisit it periodically and see where we could tweak it.
So page 16.
Okay.
So if all of you would turn with me to page 16 where it says 3.3, step 3, level 1 action plan study analysis, and where it says local streets and collector streets. These are I believe if I'm on the right page, that these are the thresholds that need to be met before this traffic plan can be sent to city council. What can we change that would allow VERDA to get triggered?
Well, it triggered by volume, as far as the volume, it met the criteria, if I remember right. And this is simply off of my memory from a couple months ago. It did not meet the threshold by speed, and I think that's the issue, is if it didn't meet the speed threshold of an issue, what are we trying to fix? The average speed was, about 30 miles an hour. And 85% of all cars are under 30 miles an hour. So is it perception or is it based on data that we're trying to fix and make the plan?
It's north of the traffic circle. They're still driving 30 miles an hour.
But the average of 30 miles an hour and a 25, it didn't meet the threshold of it had enough cars, it just didn't have a high enough speed to make it what we would consider a real issue.
Which goes back to my point that the posted speed limit may be too high.
So it's posted at 25.
35
Well,
until you
30
get to the
right.
Excuse me,
circle.
which, VERDA is in two pieces, so there's the piece from the traffic circle to Lock Haven. Isn't that posted at 25?
Yes, that's a neighborhood.
Right, but from
And
the
it's like.
traffic circle to the parkway,
It's like our earlier recommendation that, on the residential streets, we already have recommended to the city council that speed limits be reduced to 20. We've been waiting for Bill Lawyer to come back and
So this is something I'm working on to get a cost estimate and man hours and what it would take to implement that, how many there are, how much time would it take? So it is something that I'm actively working on. And once I have that information compiled, I'll get it to Bill and he'll get that in front of council and we'll go from there.
And I think Laura Christopher was at an earlier meeting, and she suggested certain streets as opposed to the community-wide, and I personally am in favor of that, and problem streets like VERDA in this area would be one that would be high on my list.
Exactly. I don't think you'll have success if you do it community.
Right.
So you're talking problem areas, but now you're switched, you're not talking 25 mile an hour in residential. I just wanted to clarify because there was a talk about, do we just focus on certain streets in Kaiser residential streets? And the answer was no, because that's confusing to people. It's like, no, it's either all 20 or all 25 for residential.
at the time we did that, we said, everybody, I remember that, and it was questionable, but we just, at the time, I don't know, maybe we were more fatalistic or something, just said, yeah, do everybody.
Could we have you finish the study first? I think that would be better. That way we see cost estimate and scale of work for citywide. And then if that becomes a pill too big to swallow, then we could look at problem areas.
So how do you switch back and forth everyone grew up knowing 25 is the speed limit, but on this street, it's 20, on this street, it's 25, and then between going in and out of neighborhoods. It's just a question.
Well, I mean, right now you've got Verda goes from 35 to 25 and
These signs are only marked when you enter a neighborhood, coming off anything that would be above, that'd be 25 miles or above, it's the law. We have to, as soon as you turn on that side street, we need to mark 20 miles an hour. So those are all the ones. But once you're in the neighborhood, all the other streets in that neighborhood, we don't need to post signs. McLeod is 25 right now, so every street off of McLeod,
is 25.
as soon as you enter it, we're gonna have to put up a new sign that says 20 miles an hour.
I think we should continue on with the study, because if we do get that, that was a huge accomplishment, and then now things will start getting triggered in your traffic management plan, and I know we're gonna focus on certain streets, but the streets would be triggered, so we know which ones it is, and us just picking one because we hear about it a lot. It'll be ones that actually trigger the plan the way it was expected. So if we do find that we get to lower all the residential streets to 20, then nothing's really changed in our plan, and hopefully that works. Mike?
The motion clearly that we made was for Public Works to develop in a study to look at 20 mile an hour in residential throughout Kaiser. That was clearly the motion, and taking that directly to city council. Now, city council can do as they wish. And I don't think we should get Mike or Public Works off on another tangent. Stay on task.
Yeah, so finish the study, see what we get, and then,
That could just be a huge win for us.
yeah.
From the PD standpoint, I believe it would be, I think we'd be setting drivers up for failure if we had random streets at different speed limits.
Yeah, I agree, random streets, I mean, it might even become and this is just an idea, don't, just throwing a balloon up here, a neighborhood-wide thing, so you attack a neighborhood and you put a bunch of signs in a neighborhood, rather than one street in that neighborhood. But again, that was just a balloon I was floating up there. But we will wait for the study, and we'll hear what the study says. Trevor, did you have, I don't know if you've taken much look at this, traffic management plan? If you had any input that you wanted to put in?
Well, I read it over and I agree with moving forward just to see what the plan will do moving in the future.
Okay.
So I like where the plan is, and we're actually focused on some things rather than jumping around at different possible programs. So having this program in place, I'd like to see what it looks like moving forward.
Yeah. And I think what you were saying, I'll add to it, Bill specifically said, you know, this is one of those things that kind of can control chaos of throwing every street out, do something at it. It kind of like creates a little bit of work for the neighborhood to prove there's a need. So there's nothing wrong with a little bit of a hurdle. David, do you have any comments about the traffic management plan? If you had any other comments?
No, I like what's been said so far.
Okay. Hirsch?
It took about 2.5 years to develop this plan.
It did, yeah.
And we've only used it for less than a half a year.
Yeah.
And depending on your point of view, we did have success. Maybe our standards didn't help Verda at this point, but it did bring the issue up. And so I would say leave it alone. If anything, tweaking is that we have the ability to use it as a committee for specific areas. Because as I see this, it gathers the data that is clearly needed for us to go to city council on fashionable Lacey Avenue.
So we become the applicant is what you're
Yeah, we can, that's the only thing that I don't think, because so many areas of Kaiser are not covered by neighborhood associations or active groups, we can fill in. Plus those areas that aren't covered like this, like Lock Haven, the Great Barrier Reef, better known as River Road, Verda, as the improvements are going to be coming on the other part of Verda from the Parkway on. All those things, I think we have jurisdiction and don't have to rely on the neighbors or the neighborhood associations to bring stuff forward.
And I don't know how much flesh on the bone you have there, but for that idea, but I know one thing we have is about a certain number of people within an area. How would that be addressed if we're just saying that we're bringing it forward? Would we have to go out and query?
I think we would have to.
Okay,
I think this is a good tool.
okay.
And we have some ways to do some communication tools that maybe a neighborhood association or a neighborhood group would not have.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, let's move on to the project, if I can find it in here. I know you showed it to me. After the traffic management. Oh, here we go. I found it. Okay. Active projects. We talked about, well, so far, we can't do anything about the green paint this year, although I was gonna ask, yeah, page 27, if you can't find it. This is kind of a side thing, I guess, but did you all take a look yet at the spreadsheet that I created?
Yeah.
And remember, I cast a huge net, so,
There it is.
Art,
Till we get one.
yeah, well, yeah, right. I mean, it's one of those things that I figured we'll put the list out there and we get one and then we could eat that
Yeah,
elephant.
We got one, right?
No, we did not.
didn't
We
get
did
it.
not.
No,
But-
the cost was high and it did not get through the budget committee.
Right.
Okay,
But that doesn't mean, come March,
right.
Correct, yeah.
I can't tell you how many times things have come before the budget committee, multiple years, and finally it raises to the point where there's more, okay. It rises to the point where there is money and there's, Jerry McGee used to call it, it wasn't ripe yet.
Yeah.
In other words, the city council couldn't defend $30,000 for green paint as opposed to some other priorities. That doesn't mean they were opposed to the plan. No one was.
Right.
No one was. So
I-
here's another little tidbit. There is discretionary transient occupancy tax money that we can use. We have 20% of that. We're about to get our third hotel. So when that comes, that's gonna bring in additional funding. And while the city council is committed to support for the library, I forget, there's some things that they've said, we're gonna do this every year with some of that discretionary funding. There's more funding that's gonna become available. So what I would say again is, you're the Citizen Advisory Committee. We rely on our citizens to tell us what those priorities are. If this remains a priority for you, we should be hearing about it every year until you get the money to get it painted.
Yeah. And I think that was the plan.
I completely agree, and I am very committed for the one on Lock Haven and River Road, and the second one is on the west side of Chemawa at River Road.
So, real quick, so you're committed, so I should probably get an updated quote coming up here soon, because I have last,
March.
well, no, I know, I'm asking, so
Yeah,
yes, we would like, is this something we'd like an updated quote moving forward?
Yeah, I think so.
Or is this,
I am going to bring it up, Mike,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
well, there you go.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring up of all this list. I don't ride a bike anymore, but I have some other concerns. The Mambrin River Road Cherry thing at intersections where Mambrin
Yeah.
comes in. If that's gonna be part of our entrance through the city of Kaiser, and I've seen more people biking there than I actually have on Lock Haven. it would deserve more, sooner attention than some of the others. Now, the first one you mentioned, but after Lock Haven, would be Mambrin for publicity reasons. And I also, it's maybe, like, Chemawa's a mess because it doesn't go straight across. So anyway, that's gonna require an engineer a long time. Mambrin's pretty straightforward, where it crosses there.
Just so you know, that list I made was not,
I know, it was, I'm just
Prioritized,
saying,
yeah, just-
I think that in this, what I did was put this should be a priority at the top of the list. Because we're not gonna, I don't really think we're gonna get to do them all at once.
no.
And so where would you be? I'm going, that one would be a very public place to do it. It's got a better chance of success than some of, like, Lock Haven. And so maybe we wanna do that, if nothing else. More people use it. It's one of our views from the people of Oregon who come through Kaiser. Right there at Cherry and.
Remember between Cherry and
I have done a
River?
lot of riding on that section of the Oregon
Yeah.
Bike Trail, and there's no trouble there. You've got a light,
Oh, I
the bike
didn't-
path is going along Cherry, you're turning either left down Mambrin, or if you're going the other way, you're turning right onto Cherry.
Yeah.
And there's lights as you cross River
Great.
Road, and
I agree
it's-
with all of that. I also say that's probably one of the better pedestrian places in the city because we got crosswalks, they're marked, we've got signals. And what was the complaint today? Oh, Cherry and Mambrin, wasn't that it?
Yeah, but the place the place to me that is dangerous, that would really benefit from green paint and better marking, is the corner on the north side of, I guess it's Lock Haven and McLeod. As you're driving, as you're riding, and often we are riding back on Lock Haven from either Kaiser Station or down over Chemawa and then Lock Haven back, heading west. The traffic is relatively high speed there, 35 miles an hour. The bike lane continues straight. There is no right-hand turn lane, so cars are turning quickly off of Lock Haven onto McLeod. And I work very hard not to get right hooked there as a cyclist, because a cyclist, you're continuing straight on Lock Haven. The cars are also right after that, heading west. Their 2 lanes are coming into 1 lane, so drivers are a bit distracted thinking about that. Anyway, that would be the place which.
I would grant you that's more dangerous.
And for safety reasons, I believe that there should be some special striping there that indicates to drivers that cyclists may be going straight.
So if everyone could take a look at the list again and prioritize it as you like, and we could then aggregate all that.
Okay.
And add anything you want.
My final comment on Lock Haven, that is my priority in my best, because it serves 2 schools, really technically 3. McNeary High School, their bike racks are full, in good weather. I see students riding through there. I know there's 2 teachers at Kaiser Elementary that are riding. And with the new apartments going in on the east side and the servicing Whitaker, there's back and forth traffic there. And so I see us possibly even maybe safe routes to schools kind of money
Yeah.
on that one.
Dawn, would you be able to send a mid-month reminder to everyone? Because I understand 30 days goes really fast, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I forgot to look at it. Thank you. Okay, moving on, we talked about the pedestrian flag program. And then we've talked about speeding in residential areas. So, I think we're good with the projects. Okay, moving on to, new and other business, Kaiser Street Painting Program. Who's leading that? Was that you, Herb? Not you?
So it was my understanding that Tammy
Saldivar?
Salvador is, I thought that she was working with you, Hirsch. Okay, so she's doing this with the Parks Committee.
I
And
thought she went with, the Kaiser Arts Commission.
is that what?
Is that what this is?
Yeah.
It's yeah, I think it's been approved, hasn't it, Mike? Yeah, so.
There we go.
We've got a process, Tammy did a great job.
Yeah.
If there's a process, it's been approved now by, it's been approved by Public Works, and so literally, we're waiting. It'll probably be neighborhood associations that will come to KPAC. KPAC, Kaiser Public Arts Commission, has to approve the content, so we're not painting naked bowlers.
Cyclist.
Naked cyclist, that's much more appropriate, yes. So they have to approve the art, and once the art is approved, I think that there's going to be a move to make paint kits available. And then they use the neighborhood schedules the time, Public Works closes the street, and it's all done within 2 or 3 days.
Now, Tammy, at the neighborhood National Night Out, she did talk about
Oh, good.
that a little bit, and she's trying to work with the McNary Art Department.
Well, Godspeed.
And possible streets, there was a list, but one of them would be Newburgh, where the school would be,
Yeah,
And
that'd be
it
a
is-
great location.
and it's newly paved.
Yeah.
So.
That'd be a great
but,
location.
You know, this is all early on as far as stuff.
Okay. All right, moving on. Thank you, yes. City council supports the discussion to recommend a committee name change. As you recall, last time I threw out that idea of, Safe Streets Advisory Committee, and I was open to other ones. I think you had, yeah, that's right. I don't remember.
I like Kaiser, PB Traffic Safety Committee because I can remember PB because that's peanut butter and jelly, so
What's the PB stand for?
pedestrian bikeways.
So basically flipping it.
Well, yeah, so we're still using pedestrian bikeways, but we don't have to say it anymore. We just say PB. And then you say, what does that stand for? And I go pedestrian bikeways.
So wonder if you did just go with Safe Streets Committee. I mean, doesn't that encompass everything?
That's what I thought, you know,
I love that
It was
name.
brought up that it doesn't encompass paths, Officer Powell.
The struggle with safe streets is you're now going to encompass a lot more than what, just any activity along the streets at all. I talked to Chief Copeland and what, our feeling was just keep it simple as traffic safety because we have pedestrian traffic, we have bicycle traffic, and we have vehicle traffic. And that encompasses all of it, versus just literally naming each one, traffic in itself covers.
Just call it all traffic.
That's on our side of the street.
Yeah.
Or house, if
Yeah.
you want to say it that way, I came to the traffic safety meeting.
And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's what we call it anyway.
They also get rid, so you're literally just saying get rid of the word safety, and then we don't have to worry about that thing like, is this in a safe neighborhood versus that's a safe
No,
neighborhood?
I think you said traffic.
No,
How
no,
about,
Traffic
word
Safety
safety?
Committee, you're getting rid of the identifying bicycles and
Okay, 'cause
pedestrians.
I thought the problem was that that would include like tough neighborhoods that are not safe.
No, that was the
brought up
response to safe streets, because that can include any drug uses that's happening or
Got it.
gang activity.
Okay.
Oh, so the traffic, I like it. I like it.
I was chair of the Bikeways Committee. And there was the merger with the traffic safety because, just getting enough people. And when that happened, the bike community was I think I remember coming in and talking with you about the bike community being very upset that they were no longer being represented because the word bicycle was no longer used. The council of governments had the bicycle advisory committee, and they did away with that. The city of Salem had a bicycle advisory committee, and they did away with that. And historically, bikes were forgotten at that point, and the worry was that there was going to be forgotten again in Kaiser. Just merged, and here we go, traffic safety, cars.
Well,
So
I
that's
would,
my concern.
I would disagree with you and say whether or not bicycles are forgotten lies with y'all. And if you don't keep that at the forefront, and if you don't keep that as part of your work plan, then you're right, they'll be forgotten. But if you do, they'll be encompassed within that net that is traffic.
Well, and see, the other thing that occurred was with the merger, there was 2 bike positions on this committee, which have been done away with.
Well, how many bike people do you have on here? You're one, Dave's one,
They're not,
Brendo's
they're
one.
not, they were official position. David is not in an official
So
position.
why don't you change the name to traffic to encompass everything, but ask that you have 2 designated bicycle people? Why don't you do that?
Can we go back
That's
to
what we had at
Traffic
the very
Bicycle
beginning.
Pedestrian Committee, TBP, and call it good? I mean, that's how it was
I
for
don't-
many years, and it wasn't tongue-tied, it was just Traffic Bicycle Pedestrian Committee.
Well,
I mean, another point is, like you said, you call it the Traffic Safety Committee. If I'm in a hurry, that's what I call it. I don't want the name changed. I like the fact that somebody makes me sit down and think a minute, that I can say, yeah, we support bicycles, we support pedestrians, and there's no, I'm sorry, there's no way in my mind I'm ever gonna think that anybody else's traffic committee gives a damn about bikes or pedestrians or wheelchairs or walkers. I don't think it's logical, I just think that's the way people think. And so, if we can call it whatever we want, if we're worried about how tongue-tied we get, that's really kind of a trivial reason for changing the name. The name represents what we do. Why don't we just leave it there? They're changing it just because you want to change it?
well,
No.
here again, it's a recommendation.
I know. I'm
You're a
just-
citizens advisory board, so you can advise the city council. I don't know where this came from, and I don't know okay. And I don't know what the city council is gonna do with it. I know they were all pretty happy when they wanted to talk about it. And, they could, it's their committee, they can change it, they could call it the Red, White, and Blue Committee.
Okay, is there somebody, does anybody in support of, you were support of changing it, right?
That was
Dave?
my idea.
Dave, how about you? I'm just kind of curious if anybody else.
Well, I share the concern that both Hirsch and I think you've raised. I think I may be where Mike is or something, where to me the current name is a bit of a tongue twister, and to me it's easier if you went Bicycle Pedestrian Traffic Safety Committee. So it's the same words, it's
Yeah, just take the word safety and put it where it belongs.
just reordered as opposed to
That's
Traffic
what Ben
Safety
calls
Bikeways
theirs.
Pedestrian Committee somehow to me is
Is,
Let's just move that.
is street safety okay?
Is what?
Street safety or transportation advisory committee? I mean, that's
How
essentially, we're
about,
just,
how about Traffic Bikeway Pedestrian Safety Committee?
I don't like it.
Well, but I don't want to change it. I really think it's important to have those 3 words there. Because it's important to have them there.
Well,
Yeah, okay. Do you want to vote on it?
Put a motion on the table.
well, we vote
it a motion?
on your name
No, I just
or
think
any name change.
any name.
He can put any.
Yeah, I mean,
So what's the motion?
well,
No, I
Make
didn't
it.
say, can
You
I
made
make a
it.
motion?
Yeah.
I make a motion, we change the name of the committee to the Kaiser Traffic Bikeways Pedestrian Safety Committee.
So the TBPSC.
No, just, that's it. You can call it what you want verbally. I'm saying that's the
Yeah.
name of the committee
You're looking for
on
a
paper.
second.
I'm looking for a second.
I second. Because I want to keep the bicycle and pedestrian in the name, so our citizens know that we're not just talking about cars all the time.
Okay.
Can I?
Yeah,
Can we talk about it now?
Yeah, now you can talk about it.
Okay, for my brain, if it's alphabetical, it'll be easier for me, just saying. My problem isn't that I don't remember the words are there. I don't remember what order the words are there. So if we went bikeways, pedestrian, traffic, and throw safety on the end, I'm not gonna forget the
That's-
order, because otherwise, it hasn't been, I don't remember that it's Kaiser Traffic Safety Pedestrian Bikeway. I already messed it up again. It's
Yeah,
the
it's a
order
tongue
that's
tire.
confusing me.
It's, to me, the real issue is there was a heavy discussion about merging the two committees here. Because the other traffic safety did not do anything for bikes or pedestrians,
Well, because there was a bikeways committee.
but they didn't do anything for pedestrians.
Well, I don't know, I don't remember.
Yeah,
And you two don't like PB, and then we explain that's pedestrian bikeways. That doesn't work.
Well, you can call it
Well, yeah,
that.
you can call it. How
I'm
about,
saying, what's the formal name you're gonna have on paper? That was what I'm talking about. So what people say, if I tell my wife, where are you going then? I'm going to the traffic safety meeting. Fine,
Yeah.
but I don't want that ever to show up on paper.
well, I like whatever, my point is not so much that we can't change the name. I just want the word bicycle and pedestrian
In the
in,
name.
in the name.
well, I was thinking, we could keep those. Do we need safety? I mean, it's kind of redundant then. We need safety?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that obligated by law?
Well, not obligated
I mean,
by
'cause
law,
I
but
mean-
that's-
Common.
The council.
Okay. So, the Kaiser, what did you say again, David? What was the motion again?
Kaiser Traffic Bikeways Pedestrian Safety Committee.
Did you want a friendly amendment, Brenda, to reorder that?
I would like a friendly amendment. I'd like Brenda's idea
Who was your idea?
Well, what-
to, it could be Kaiser, but Kaiser Bicycle Pedestrian and Traffic Safety Committee.
Just, it's a reordering of the
It's
word.
It's just reordering.
And
that's
it-
fine. I don't, what do I need to do to
I
accept?
accept.
I accept
Yeah.
that,
Then the second
whatever he
needs to
said.
accept.
I accept because I got my bicycle in it.
Me too.
Okay, well then, all in favor?
Just, before we
Go ahead.
vote, one question I have
Yes.
is whether it makes sense to be bicycle or bikeways. I say bicycle just because it makes more sense to me, but the other bikeways had been also used.
Yeah, it had been used, but the confusion about the term bikeways was strictly from our constituents out there, was that it's just about bike paths. That all we're talking about is bike paths. And we're talking about bicycle usage everywhere.
So.
Do you agree with me?
Yeah, so I prefer bicycle.
Okay.
Okay, so
Somebody,
we have a motion to
can
change.
you read the motion title back to me?
Mr. Philbrick would read the name that he made his friendly amendment to.
Okay.
Be the Kaiser Bicycle Pedestrian and Traffic Safety Committee.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second,
And I accept.
and
I
so
accept.
all in favor of changing the group name, committee name to the Kaiser Bicycle Pedestrian and Traffic Safety Committee, say aye.
Aye.
Any
And
against?
I would just remind you,
It's a
you didn't
recommendation.
change the name, you're making a recommendation to the Kaiser City Council
Yeah.
You're right, you're
This
right.
is
to
a
change the name.
That
Yes.
was a
That's,
recommendation.
you're correct.
And-
A recommendation to change the name.
There you go.
Did we just vote to add the word "and"? Because we don't have "and" on our name right now.
Did I say and?
Yes.
Did you say and, David?
I don't think we.
Okay,
No.
so,
There's not
I-
an "and" in there,
I
right?
don't know.
no and,
Okay, good.
no ifs, ands, or buts.
All yeses.
So the recommendation is to the Kaiser Bicycles Pedestrian Traffic Safety Committee. And so any noes or abstentions? All right, it passed.
Well, who's taking that to the council?
That would be the next person who's going, which is, yes, Hirsch.
Don, can you make sure I get a draft of the minutes ahead of time? Thank you.
Okay. So, next is the city council requested discussion on the safety of e-bikes and e-scooters, and we have an attached guide in the,
Right. I saw that somewhere.
Oh, we have a whole thing. hanging in here.
What's there to discuss?
yeah. I guess if someone could give the history of why this was brought up? Why the council has,
Because these bikes, now this one says the electric assisted bike is only going 20 miles per hour. But someone had given testimony, one of the city councilors, I forget who, it might have been Kohler. Was it Dan? That's what I was thinking. They go 40 miles an hour. So 40 miles an hour, I mean, they're basically a little, they're a little motorcycle. And so the city council was concerned, you know, that these 40-mile-an-hour bicycles are riding along with y'all in the
They're not
bicycle
bicycles.
lanes.
They're not bicycles.
Well, they're e-bikes. That's what they're called.
Well, that's the generic term.
Yeah.
I was following the legislature this session, because there was a bill to try to sort things out. It didn't even come out of committee.
I know.
And I've been working with Ray Thomas, who is a long-term bicycle attorney. ODOT uses him for everything. And the gist is, they don't think it's ever going to come through the legislature with any changes, because this, it creates issues for both liability, for causing crashes, insurance companies. The legislature isn't equipped to handle many of these, especially the regulating of selling them, and the FTC would have to get in. So it's a mess.
It's a mess. And
The city of Bend is just going crazy right now with their police department on it.
the statistics for
yeah.
injuries,
In my mind, there are really two. The regular bicycle and bicycle assist. The assist, the key portion of assist, if you stop pedaling, it stops. These others are motorcycles with throttles. That's the difference. And
So
I have,
can we prevent them from being in bicycle lanes, these 40-mile-an-hour ones?
They're not allowed in bicycle lanes
They're
by,
not.
by statute.
they're not allowed on the street.
They're not allowed on the street?
They're unlicensed.
They're
So
on,
where are they allowed to be? Because they're everywhere.
yeah.
No, wait a minute. I grant you all of, everything you said wrong about it, but they're not everywhere. Most of the people don't have electric assist bikes. There are a few, and there are a few of them giving the e-bikes a bad name because they're irresponsible. So the question is, how do we deal with those people? Or how do you deal with?
That is the question.
Just before this meeting, I watched a webinar put on by ODOT.
Oh, good.
Through Oregon Impact. I can share that with Donna for next week if you guys want to, or next month, if you guys want to watch it. It specifically deals with, it's called micro-mobility and e-bike, basically e-anything, and struggles with law enforcement. There are devices out there. I've seen a one-wheel going down River Road at probably 40 miles an hour. It is not legal at all, but yet doesn't meet the definition of a vehicle. Therefore, he's a pedestrian, but we have he's not legal, but there's no statute to enforce. So there's some things out there that just don't fit, and these 40-mile-an-hour e-bikes are one of those. They would fall down to just a vehicle that's not legal on the roadway.
So do we need to make a local ordinance?
They wouldn't supersede ORS, I don't believe. I mean, state statute is what it is. There's just a lot of confusion. Even this impact webinar talked about, there's just a lot of confusion within and inconsistencies within the laws that make it really confusing as far as, sometimes they can ride on some devices can go in bike paths, some of them can't go on sidewalks or vice versa, and there's not a lot of consistency.
So is the 20-mile-an-hour ones, they can go on bike paths? They call it here an electric assisted bike.
They can go in bike lanes, yes.
And so how can you tell the difference between those bikes other than the speed?
Just speed, and then once you
Right?
contact them, I mean, radar,
Yeah.
well,
you can contact them and look at their capabilities.
and the other is if they're pedaling.
Yeah.
If they're pedaling.
Yeah.
So, and then you have to be able to get to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to ride a bike as a kid. I hate to tell you the number of times you can lose a police car pretty easily on a bike.
So I think it would be really good, I mean, they kicked it to you to say, what are we gonna do? So I think at the very minimum, if you could just give an overview of, it's a problem, it's a mess, we don't have any solutions for you right now, but give the city council some, because I didn't know that they, the fear was that you've got 40-mile-an-hour bikes on bike paths with kids on bicycles. That was the fear. So,
Reasonable.
yeah, so if you could just give an overview, even though it's bad news, just let the city council know. I'm looking at you, Hirsch, because you're giving the next report.
Unfortunately, there's a lot more than just e-bikes that'll go that fast. There's those electrical scooters that look like, just like the little kid scooters they used to push with your hand.
Yeah.
Those will go forward. Actually, there's some we've seen on Lock Haven capable of 65.
No way.
Well, you could wait until they get.
Exactly.
themselves.
Are those allowed in bike paths?
No, they're not legal on the roadway, but they're out there, people find them, and they're, like they said, it's extremely hard to stop. I'm on a motorcycle, and I was trying to stop an e-bike for riding illegally. Well, he come up to an intersection, he didn't even know I was there, and because he doesn't want to follow the crosswalks and everything else, he would cut through business parking lots, and, yeah, in one block, there's no way, I wanted to go home that night, I wasn't gonna follow him.
Right.
Well, this is going to be a good discussion because I have been, talked with the attorneys that have been involved with the legislature. And the legislature's, at least this session, and we're guessing next session, are not going to address it. We're talking about a 1997 written ORS.
Yeah, well, I'll
That's
tell you what'll
all I'm
happen. The mothers will get involved in this because,
Bless
There you go. Go
because
for it.
it'll be like mad because the injury incidents have skyrocketed because these kids, they're, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds with a motorcycle. That's what they've got. So, and even though they've got helmets on, not always, and I really think that if the legislature doesn't take action on this, I think sooner or later the mothers will.
Well, our helmets that we have for the city of Kaiser are geared for bicycles.
Exactly.
Not for,
And that's what they're wearing. They're wearing bicycle helmets on these dang motorcycles.
So I have a couple of questions. So in this table, the two-pager, the bikes you were talking about, Hirsch, that have the throttle, but you can still pedal.
no, the throttle is how you move it,
Because
like a motorcycle.
in full disclosure, I inherited a bike.
Okay.
I haven't even used it actually. But it's got pedals, and I can't remember if it's got a push throttle with your thumb or a twist throttle.
It's a throttle.
So let me ask you that, where would that fit on this?
Well,
Because I'm reading these things and I don't.
It's not an e-bike assist.
Yeah.
Because you can throttle it.
Right,
And keep going.
so that would be a moped?
Yeah,
Okay.
in my opinion.
I mean, because I'm reading that and I'm like, well, it doesn't outline it specifically because it says,
I have an e-bike assist sitting out in the parking lot.
yeah,
After our meeting, you can take a look at it.
yeah.
And it's legal.
Well, I'm sure.
No more than 1,000 watts.
Right.
Maximum of 1,000 watts and capable of 20.
Now, with my own power with that assist, could I go faster? Yeah.
Yes.
How fast could you go?
Well, Mary Ann was clocked at 42 on Lock Haven,
No way.
but she.
While you're pedaling.
Well, oh, yeah, we have,
She was pedaling like mad.
She was getting away from her.
yeah. But, the Tour de France, those guys are pedaling and they're hitting high speeds too.
We don't want them unlocking.
Hirsch, question, then once you get, it should no longer be providing assist if you're over 20 miles an hour.
Correct.
Okay.
But it stops.
Then it's on human power after
Yeah.
that.
But you're.
But so can that go in a bike lane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go on the sidewalk too.
No,
Oh, not that one, no, but bicycles can, right?
yeah, no e-bikes on sidewalks.
Right, that's right.
And when we do our bicycle education, we try to say stay away from sidewalks unless it's a child. ODOT recommends, third graders unless use
Sidewalk.
Let me
sidewalks.
ask, so Hirsch could be in a bike lane, but then you're on a river road where it has no bike lane. So you see people go on the sidewalk, and we tell them to go on the sidewalk all the time, on their bike.
Yeah,
Some
Are
of
we-
us
are we
say
telling-
don't, you can go on the sidewalk if there's no pedestrians.
and once I go up on the sidewalk, I can't ride that bike any faster than a fast walk.
Yeah,
Which is how many miles per hour?
five,
Six or
five, six,
But it would be legal.
yeah.
Right.
But it's sometimes not safe. I mean, it's,
I'm not saying, I'm just saying, I
Well,
know we've
if it's
said that many
crowded,
times.
walk.
Well, that southern part of River Road is the Great Barrier Reef, for
Right.
sure, for cyclists.
Yeah. Okay,
Can-
so.
Can I just
yeah.
comment that, I haven't noticed the 40 mile an hour thing, but I have noticed a lot of kids on electric
Stuff.
small bikes and things, and it's, actually, it's kind of discouraging to me because you're seeing a lot of them and they're not getting any exercise. But I don't know what to do other than like education and things, and because a lot of it and a lot of the risk is in the users of these things. And you have people who are less experienced going faster than they should.
Yes.
Also, I know there was a teenager killed in Bend riding an electric bike on a sidewalk, and hit by a car. And you're basically going faster than you should be. Cars have trouble anticipating and everything. So anyway, there's a lot that the users, I think in the end, is going to fall on the users in part. The other thing I would just comment is that this issue, I think, is also in our parks. The e-bikes and mountain bikes on
Yes,
the trails,
on the wide paths.
and they're very quiet. And so when they come up quickly on walkers, it creates a situation that is potentially hazardous.
100% Dave.
Marion County I'm chair of the Marion County Parks Commission, and this is an issue.
It's an issue.
It's an issue.
Okay, well, Hirsch, you got to bring the bad news.
Yeah, that's too bad. I forgot.
so like that.
Well, just be kind to me, at city council.
I will.
Yeah. Okay, and so we did the
I'll
last.
ride my e-bike so they can see it.
Yeah,
I think that's a great idea.
we can all try. Okay, so we did D, so we will move on to committee member input. David, do you have anything?
I have nothing further, thanks.
Brenda?
I don't have anything tonight, thank you.
Trevor? Do you have anything?
Nothing further.
David, do you have anything for committee member input?
Sure, got a bunch of things. Last Sunday, we worked, Hirsch and I, Mary, worked at, Surfest. This year it was held down by Fred Meyer,
Yeah.
somewhere.
Near-
Anyway, we fitted at least 40 helmets.
I think Marianne counted 48 finally.
Yeah, and we had somebody donated some extra
Yeah.
helmets that we didn't buy. So, and we ran out finally towards the end. And we ran out of certain sizes there, but that happens anytime. It was fun, quick. We were done at 12:30.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We had a line, people started showing up about 10. They have to go through and get vetted by the church. I'm not sure what they're checking on to make sure they're deserving, I guess, or something. And so they have their little passport and they walk around and get lots of free stuff. I was more impressed, the helmets I'm so accustomed to, but I went inside and they had a big line of people for kids, they were giving free haircuts and free manicures, and they were giving legal services and, all sorts of, and clothes. And you got a backpack full of all the required school supplies. So anyway, it was a neat event. That's that. To our budget, we don't pay much attention to it. Did you deposit it?
Yep.
Okay, so we have around $740 in our money we've raised through donations.
The helmet fund.
The helmet fund, which is not excuse me, the city keeps track of it for us, but they don't give us any money. So it's all donated money.
Wait, we don't give you any
We don't give us any money
for
No.
helmets?
No,
for,
we,
yeah, for anything.
Do you ask for it?
yeah, we,
No, we actually haven't.
no, that was, when
That
it was
was the deal.
originally established in 1997, the council said, you will get donations. And we've gotten ODOT grants.
Yep, several.
Which they don't do anymore. Rotary gave us some money. City council gave us some personal money one year.
Yeah, the members gave us cash.
Yeah, and the garbage haulers here in Kaiser each gave us $750.
One
So, and then with our $5 per helmet, if there's not an emergent need, we've just been able to keep it going
Yeah.
since 1997. And we gotta be over 6,000 helmets by now.
Okay, yeah,
You'll
it's
probably
hard to
co-
tell. We just, and then some, we don't keep real close, I mean, we keep track of it like we're not giving them away for naught, but, it's like I have to go meet with some grandmother
Yeah,
this week, who's got 5 grandkids who need helmets, and she lives in the trailer park down behind the school, so, you know.
yeah, and Mary Ann and I did 3 at our house
Yeah.
that, I think one of the police officers gave my
Yeah.
phone number and they called and,
Yeah.
come on over, we'll fit them.
So we do that, a lot of that, and then just.
So we're
Doesn't change.
always looking for sources of income from the
And-
business community,
Kaiser United.
yes,
Okay.
oh, yes.
Well, then the second part of this is that's how much money we have. We're not running out of helmets. We have enough to probably last us through October, but we need to buy them. And the place we buy them, this is kind of surprising. We get really nice bicycle helmets for $10.50. And so we give them away for $5. Okay. Oh, yeah. Which I was always amazed at the price. But the company, Helmets R Us, has now gone to minimum orders of 24, a big box of 24, which with shipping turns out to be around $320 a box. And so we'll probably in the next few months need to buy 3 boxes, so about a little shy of $1,000 worth of helmets. And we only have 700, so we'll have to do some money raising in there somewhere. We'll have to bring that up when it becomes really tight.
Yes.
Yes,
I would suggest you ask city council. I would explain exactly that they've gone to where you have to buy it up front and see if city council would, fill in, what, $250 or something.
Well, you want to come on the second?
I think that's a really, I mean, I don't know that if there's anybody that can oppose getting bicycle helmets in the
Well,
hands
I
of
know
kids.
The fire department knows and calls. The police department calls, either David or not.
schools,
We're having.
not lately, but,
I mean, you've got nothing now. What's it gonna
Right.
hurt to ask?
yeah,
And our next event is October,
6th, that's the next thing I was gonna say. So,
at the fire hall.
yeah, so we need some money. We'll do something to get it. The next event would be Fire Prevention Week, October 6th. I have the form to give them, that will be there. We'd like some anybody want to volunteer? I don't know what the
Brenda
week that
wants
is.
to.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Monday, it's a Monday. And you did it last year, Brenda,
Yeah.
didn't you? It's really fun. They give us a big table and it's inside and
I think I've done it the last 2 years.
yeah, it's goes fast. All of a sudden, people show up and, so it's really a fun event. It's nice, school started and kids need the helmets. And it varies from year to year. Some years we fit 20, 25 helmets. Some years we do 10. I've been doing this for as long as they've had open houses. So anybody else want to come? It's fun. You just sit there, look at the kid's head, see if you can fit it on him. And
All right, let's, is that it? You got?
Yep.
Hirsch, you have anything?
David and I have been, that's our main activities here. Release recently, and again, we got this event coming up, and just get out there and ride.
Thursday night.
Okay.
Yeah, first Thursday of the month, Mary Ann and I will be leading a short family-orientated ride at 6 o'clock from Kaiser Rapids. Meet at the Big Toy.
I just had
E-bikes are welcome.
I had a question for Mike. I've noticed this specifically at 14th and Lock Haven, the traffic light, and it's not, I'm in a car, I'm not on a bike. And there've been several times where turning onto Lock Haven, that light just takes forever for changing.
We've had several issues with that and complaints, and I have forwarded those on to City of Salem, and they dealt with them fairly quickly, and then they had an issue a couple weeks ago, some solar flare, Bonneville, and it screwed up some things in Kaiser Station, and it hit that one as well.
Okay.
I don't know why, but it also hit ones in City of Salem, so the way they're tied and connected, it kind of bounced around, so we were getting calls about that,
Okay.
that day, but I've probably had a handful that I've passed on, so, and just different, coming in from different directions, and there's no, I will say rhyme or reason, but they address it, and then I don't hear anything, but then you just said something, so maybe this was, last time was like 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago.
It's been a while,
Okay.
I had to wait till the meeting to ask you, so.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's addressed. Well,
Yeah.
it has been addressed, I haven't heard anything
I
except
haven't-
what you just
Yeah, I
said.
haven't seen it in a while, but.
Good.
Okay, so let's, right back at you, Mike, staff report.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Chair DeBosse. A couple things. I've been working on a McLeod stormwater outfall project. It's a 36-inch line, and that was just finished last week. So that's a good project that was needing to be done. The pipe was failing. It's a good-sized pipe, and so that's replaced. All the cleanup's done. So that one's done. And then in the same neighborhood, our resurfacing project should be wrapped up next week. There's 4 streets left in the Gupser neighborhood, and the company K&L has the project for us, and they'll be wrapping that up next week. So probably by Friday, it should be all done. And then our resurfacing project for the year will be complete. So that's good. And go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you had something. Our stormwater crew, it's this time of year we go around and inspect our catch basins, and they just finished that, and then the data's compiled, and then I have the guys go back and they clean those catch basins that hit a certain marker, and they'll be doing that. So that's it from Public Works.
Okay. Officer Powell?
Just a couple things real briefly. This is the time of the year coming up towards what we have our grant year provided by ODOT for distracted driving, mainly cell phone use, seatbelt use, speeding, and DUI enforcement. Those grants all end at the end of September. We've been putting a lot of extra man hours provided by ODOT for that. So you'll see there's a lot more patrols out for those items. And then just as a reminder for Hirsch and David is that as you guys get into your bicycle safety, I don't know if you have seen it or will see it. I'm sure you will. The kids under 16 showing up with e-bikes or not, they can't have them.
I know it's.
So as long as you guys are remembering unfortunately, that's parents buy them, and then how do you tell a 12-year-old that they can't ride it?
You tell a 15-year-old you can't ride.
Yeah,
How you tell you a 70-year-old not to ride.
yeah.
Officer Powell?
Yeah.
What about those electric scooters? Are they supposed to not have them too?
They are not supposed to have them.
Because
unless they're
those
16.
are like little guys on those.
Yes.
And going slickety-split.
And parents get all upset when I follow their child home and tell them that, and it's like, we just bought, I don't know, $300-400 for this.
Yeah.
And, you know, like,
Wow.
So put it in the trunk, is that what you tell?
yeah.
So are you seeing any positive trends in any of those grant-funded things, like DUIs going down, distracted driver going down?
Positive trends, obviously, it does affect the speeding issues within Kaiser. Dearborn, like I said earlier, was traditionally one, but we put a lot of extra man hours in it. Lately, the people that have been working that haven't been finding very productive or very often speeds, not saying that they're not still there, they're just not as often, because you're supposed to, these grants, they want minimum of 2, probably 3 stops per hour. So,
Wow.
yeah, and so that's busy, so you have to go to where the speeds are. So Dearborn hasn't been quite as productive for the grants because of the enforcement. Alder used to be, but I think we've kind of solved most of that. DUIs, they're there. That's society. It's been accepted for so many years. Yes, the deterrence is out there, but the statistics show a person, once they've been arrested, have probably already driven 80 times where they weren't arrested. And a lot of people think, well, it's, I live in Kaiser and I need to go 6 blocks. So, seatbelt, within the city, we're typically about 98 to 99% in compliance with that. A lot of times we'll find, improperly worn where they'll tuck it under their arm. I don't know, most of the time, me personally, that's an education, because the seatbelt's not gonna work. And cell phone use, yes, when I first started working traffic almost 6 years ago, you almost didn't need to stop. You park and the next car that goes by is on a cell phone. River Road has been worked pretty heavily for that. They're still there, but they're not near as frequent. So there is some success.
Okay. Well, success is
Yeah.
good. All right, council.
So on Saturday, there's a concert in the park, and it's going to be a really good one. It's Johnny Wheels and the Swamp Donkeys, and he's terrific, you guys. So if you haven't been to one of the concerts yet, they're from 6 till 9 p.m. at the amphitheater. That's a really good one. On the 30th of the month is Blast Camp. You might want to consider having a tent and soliciting or potentially handing out bike helmets. It's from 11 to 4, right there.
Okay.
Chalmers Jones. I think you might be able to solicit funds and certainly be able to give that up. And then 9/13 is the part 2 of the paint party for the big toy. And if you're a person that can paint and that can get on a ladder, then we need you. We did everything that we could do low, and we used lots of kids, and they had a great time, and it looks terrific. But now we've got the top of the fire truck that needs to be painted. It's at least going to be a step stool. So you're at least going to be on 2 or maybe 3 step stool. And then the blue pyramid right at the front has to have a second coat, those kinds of things. We've got a couple of McNary artists, student artists, that are going to come out and help us with the rock wall and monkey face. So, and that's going to be 9 to 2, and that's on September 13th. Then we were looking at volunteer prizes, and Salem Electric does an excellent job of their tchotchke, their swag stuff. And they passed these out to kids. The yellow is reflective. And then see, they put their logo on the back. And so I want to bring this to you. I'll give it to you. And I'll send you the contact for ordering this. This might be something you might want to bring to city council and say, hey, can we order however many of these and pass them out to kids just to get your name out there. It'll say your committee and City of Kaiser, but also it's pedestrian safety, because these are little kids and they don't all have reflective things to collect their candy in. So I just do that for, I think it's a cute idea, and it just encourages that relationship that you already have with kids and your helmets. Isn't it a cute idea? Yeah. I'll send it to you, Mike. I'll send you the contact information of where to buy them.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right. Well, that being said, Hirsch will be reporting to council on the 2nd. Thank you.
Don will have.
And with that, I will adjourn the meeting.
Okay. In the nick of time.